we are going to take a quick look at the LV Knives Ray Laconico Michael Mangino collaboration called the Lancer. Now, I do know that there is a production version of that, but that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about a 2015 hand production version. I guess you would almost call it a mid-tech. But before we get into it any further, you guys know what time it is. Turn down the volume, because here comes a little bit of music. So this was a knife that was given to my friend Tino by our friend Jeff. Actually, he's Tino's friend. Now he's a mutual friend of mine. But before we get into that any further, this is Jedrek 29T again, and he's back there because I really do enjoy this channel. He does a lot of epoxy art. He does some really, really cool stuff. He just did one where he shot through, it made it look like he shot through a soda can. So go give him a follow. Check out his videos. Really relaxing, really enjoyable to watch. So, like I said, so this is not the production version of the Lancer that you guys, the Lancer 2 that you guys are probably thinking of that was done by Kaiser. I've seen those. They're a very good knife, but this is an actual handmade collaboration between Mike Mangino and Ray Laconico over at LV Knives. They did it together. This was, according to Ray, it was a handmade production. So more like a mid-tech. They had the stuff machined out, and then they did the assembly and actually ground the blades. So unlike a lot of other mid-tech style, the blanks were hand ground. So this one, I'm not sure who ground this one, whether it was Michael or if it was Ray, but super well done blade. So let's not stand here and talk about it any longer. Let's turn this around and take a look at it from above. Guys, so in the vein of full disclosure, I do have to refilm the intro and outro, not the section where I talk about the channel I brought up, but because I realized I did not do what I wanted to do. So hopefully you're gonna see an intro and outro if I can make it work. There's a picture of this knife. Something I'm gonna start doing. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right, so this is the Ray Laconico LV Knives, Mike Mangino and Ray Laconico collab called the Lancer. Now, there's not a lot of information to be found about this knife. So let me grab my notebook and we're gonna take a quick look at it, and we'll get into the specs and things like that. I will tell you that this is more akin to a custom than it is a mid-tech. They called it a mid-tech or handmade production. So this, I would more equate this to almost a custom because the blade is hand ground. It was all hand fit. All the lock bar cutout was all done by hand and things like that. So a lot of times in the mid-tech stuff, what you see is a lot of that work is done either double disc grind on the blades. These were ground by hand. So yeah, a little bit different. So let me grab that notebook and we're going to take a look at the specs of this knife. All right, so what are we looking at here? We are looking at a 4 1/4 inch recurve drop point, almost harpoon. It's got that harpoon look to it. Hollow ground K110, Bowler K110 blade. It is running on bearings. It is a, so you're looking at a, what do we got here? A 5.5 inch handle that done in titanium with a frame lock. So that's pretty much what you got here. Overall length on this is 9 5/8. So it's not a small knife. The Bowler K110, this is the first blade I've had come in for sharpening in that. This was in for sharpening. I did about 1,000 grit, sharpened up really nice, took a really aggressive edge. But this knife is just gorgeous. And it has that definite look that tells you, okay, this is a Laconico design, but it's a little bit different. This knife was done in a smaller size called the Lancer 2, which Mike told me that that's his favorite knife that he's ever done. Was that collab he did with Ray was the Lancer 2, which is a little bit smaller knife. So titanium has been milled and had these holes put in it, more for looks than for lightening. This is Not a small knife by any stretch, but it's still super comfortable. Really attractive. The stone wash on this, edge profile. I'm not a fan of how it ramps up here. You guys know that. But, you know, that's kind of was already in it. I had to account for that during the sharpening. In hand, super, super comfortable. The action on it is not super smooth, but I mean, it is almost drop shut. A lot of that could do with, I probably need to take this apart and clean it up. I think that would help the action on this a lot. Titanium hardware, titanium spacers. You can see this knife gets carried a lot and played with a lot. This is one of Tino's favorite knives. It was a gift. So you can see there's a good bit of pocket lint and stuff in there. Pocket clip on this. Tension on it's just about perfect. In hand, it sits just about the way I would want a pocket clip to. Not too tall. It doesn't, the height of the pocket clip usually is not an issue. It's the transition to that height that I have a problem with it. If it's too abrupt, it really is not that comfortable. I have some other knives here that have various versions of pocket clips, similar to that. My Master Blaster with a shortened clip, Nico's with the full-size clip. This is what you would see on the regular Master Blasters. Mine is a maker's choice. It was done a little differently as a gift. So pocket clips coming up tall aren't usually something that bothers me. It's the transition. So this pocket clip is just about perfect. There's no play in it at all whatsoever. Lesson to other companies, when I get the pocket clips in and they're just all soft and loose and they move, a lot of that has to do with them trying to make them too thin back here or put them in a slot, and then you lose the structure of it. Like I said, super well done hand ground blade. I don't see any issues with that. And of course I wouldn't, depending on who ground this. Ray is just an excellent knife maker. Michael Mangiano is a certified knife blade smith, master bladesmith. So I would expect nothing less from those two. I see zero flaws in this grind. There are machines that don't do it as well as these two gentlemen did. But like I said, there weren't many of these. There's only like 25 of these knives out there total, plus the 5 customs. And I'm not even including those because the 5 customs were done a little bit differently. They were all numbered and things like that. This is not one of those. But yeah, this was one of those ones back in 2015, 2016, when people were getting into that handmade, like almost mid-tech style or like handmade production. I don't know how you want to do it, but like the fact is that this knife was popular enough that they made a second version of it, and then Kaiser picked it up and did the Kaiser Lancer production version of this knife from LV Knives. So great knife, guys. Hopefully I'm going to have it set up so that you're going to see a picture of this in the intro and outro. That's one of the things I'm trying to play with, is I'll get a picture and I'll put it and I'll drop it into what I use as my backdrop. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. It has been really fun having this house. This knife got played with a lot. I wish I could do something about the rust, but to do anything about the rust, the little bit of rust that's on it, I would have to refinish that blade. And unfortunately would lose the stone wash that's on this. I don't really think I would want to try and duplicate. I like the way it looks. So Tino does too, so we're not going to do anything with that. Only issue I've got is there is a little bit of lock stick. I've put a little bit of graphite on the interface for the lock here on the radius. That's the only issue I've seen with this knife. It's just about perfect, in my opinion. Once I take it apart and clean it up, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of cleanup that I do on this that's going to make the action a lot freer. But I just wanted to get this video up and take a video of it for you guys, because it's not often that you guys are going to get to see something like this. I'm just lucky enough that Tino has a very vast knife collection, and I'm able to borrow I need to tighten this up. It's favoring one side. When I got it, it was dead center. I imagine that I've played with enough. I've loosened the action on it. I forgot to do size comparison. I apologize. Then we'll do the thing. You're going to see an edit that seems kind of strange. So my Master Blaster, Firm Forge Master Blaster, which is not a small knife. You can see significantly smaller. My Riat Horizon D. God, listen to the action on that, guys. Still, I'm telling you, David Deng, that is the best production knife I've ever owned. Significantly larger than that knife. And then so that I know not everybody has those two knives. Here is a Sebenza 21, large, not, you know, not a small knife by any stretch. This is not a small knife. This is a fairly large folder, and it's just nowhere even close to the size. Look at that. Just dwarfs it in comparison. So 9 5/8, not a small knife. All right, guys. Now let's turn this around and do some final thoughts. Hey guys, so like I said, a lot of fun. I did sharpen this, like I said, for Tino. K110, it's the first time I've ever sharpened Bowler K110. I was kind of surprised at how it sharpened and the edge it took. I was afraid it was going to be one of those steels that just didn't want to sharpen. It actually was pretty easy to sharpen. It took a super keen edge. So, yeah. Great knife. I'm glad Tino let me borrow it. It's nice to have stuff in that's kind of out of the norm. And this is truly a rare knife. I looked it up and I only found one listing where I found anything about this knife. So price point on this, I talked to Ray. Ray said they were probably about $550 to $650, depending on options. I know that there were 5 custom ones that were done. And then, like I said, this was one of the 25 that were done. So there's actually only 30 of these out there as far as I know. So guys, that's about it. That's all I got. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. Please try to tell me why. I can't change the content if I don't know what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as, like I do, share the channel with people you think would like it. We've had a massive upsweep in membership, not membership, but subscribers on my channel. Way outside of the norm for my channel, a lot more than I'm used to seeing. So I appreciate it. You guys are sharing it and it's getting out there. If you want to support the channel financially, there are memberships down below to get you in on early access to videos, exclusive content based on tier, exclusive giveaways. This month I'm giving away a SOG Pentagon Elite 2 great big knife that I'm going to do November 1st. I'm going to do as the giveaway to the paying members, baseline and premium tiers. There's other ways you can support. I have a membership, not just the membership link, I'm sorry, I have the affiliate links down below where if you're shopping on Amazon, I'd appreciate if you log in through my affiliate links. Even if it's not the item you're looking for, anything you purchase after you log in through my affiliate link, I get credit for. And it does not add any price to your cart at checkout. And I also have the Ember Shirt Co. store down below, which both my merch store and the Ember Shirt Co. store, I have a coupon code that will get you 10% at checkout for any of the shirts you purchase. It's CrazySharp, CrazySharp, capital C, capital S, all one word, CrazySharp. That's it, guys. I love you all. I'm apologizing in advance for maybe lack of content. There's been a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to talk about that in tonight's live feed. But just know, it's not that I don't want to do live feeds and things like that. There's just a lot of things at play. So with that being said, guys, I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I will see you in the next video.